everybody, this is Julie Bean with Beadaholique, and in this video I want to teach you how to make this bracelet right here. I'm calling this the Aspen Bracelet, and what it features is a leather cord, and it's 1.5 millimeter, a really pretty little button to make the clasp, and then I have done some picot edging, bead weaving along the outside of it, and that's a variation of brick stitch for the circular brick stitch. So what you see are little 11-0 seed beads as well as 8-0 seed beads. So I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet from start to finish. I'm going to be using the leather cord. You need at least 18 inches. So this ends up being a 7-inch bracelet. And from 1 yard of the leather cord, I was able to make 2 bracelets. But if you want a larger bracelet, you'll need more than the 18 inches. So just keep that in mind. I have this little button right here. This is a tiara cast apple blossom button. And here you can see I used the leaf button, so you can really pick which is your favorite. You'll need 2 colors and 2 sizes of seed beads. So for this variation I'm going to do here, I have a white 11-0 round, and I have this really pretty turquoisey rainbow one, which is an 8-0 Toho round as well. You're also going to need some thread. I'm using Wildfire 0.006, and I'm using 44 inches placed onto a beading needle. And then in terms of your tools that you're going to need, you'll need a ruler to help you measure. And then you'll also need a pair of scissors, a cutter, and a chain nose plier did come in handy with this project as well. So I'm going to clear some of this away so that we can see a little bit better what we're doing in each step. We're going to be making our actual bracelet first, and then we'll add the beadwork. So what I have here is my cord. And we're going to be making a sliding knot for the loop part of our clasp. So to do that, you're going to take your cord and you're going to crisscross it so you have like a little circle in the middle. And what you want to make sure is that you have a good at least 6 inches, if not 8 inches on one side. The other side can be a little bit shorter because this is what we're going to be attaching our button to. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, we have another video on Beadaholique showing this technique as well, but I'm going to show you in here as well. So we've got them crisscrossed, right? So they're just overlapping right here. Okay, you're going to fold over this one end, the longer end, just like so. So you have a little loop and you're pinching it with your fingers. I'm just pinching that in place. Okay, I'm going to move it. So I'm pinching this loop now. So I have this hand free. And I am going to circle around both of these cords. So the cord that's attached to the loop as well as the tail. So we're going to do 4 circles. So there's 1 loop, 2 loops, and it can be wiggly. It's going to be a little bit wiggly. So we got 2 loops, 3 loops, 4 loops. Okay. So we got the 4 loops on there. You can see that. And I'm still pinching where they crisscrossed and made the little U shape. Okay, now I'm going to carefully take this tail and push it through all 4 of my loops until it comes out the other side. And when it comes out the other side, what I want to do is I find it easier to use a chain nose plier at this point. I'm going to grab my chain nose plier, I'm going to grab that loop and pull it. Just like so. And then you scoot it up. And pull. And now you have a little sliding knot. And you see you can slide it from both sides. And just keep pulling it tight so that those coils are nice and tight in there. Okay, so now this is what you've got. Now, you might think that this is your bracelet. It is not your bracelet. This is the loop for your button. So if I take my button off of here, that is my loop. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pull this, again, and pull it tight. You want that nice and tight. I'm gonna pull this all the way down until it becomes the right size to slip my button into. Okay, so you can see what that size is. Make sure you can easily put your button through it and not have it too small, but you're gonna be able to adjust it even after you do the next step. Okay, so then you wanna be able to make sure it can wiggle through and sit on top. Okay, so after you've done that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure out your length. So for me, like a 7-inch bracelet. Some people want it a little smaller. Some people want it a little bit larger. See where my markers are. Well, they're upside down. Here we go. All right, so if 7 inches is what I want, here would be the 7-inch mark. And you can also just put it on your wrist and make sure that that's right for you. So always double check. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to slide on our button, having pinched where we want to tie the knot. So now we're just going to tie a really simple overhand knot, just like so, and pull. Now before you pull it too tight, remeasure, make sure that nothing went a little off kilter there, because I feel like something did on mine. Oh yes, okay, so mine definitely did not end up where I wanted it to be. Okay, so let me remeasure. What is that old saying? Measure twice, cut once. So this is kind of a similar situation. I somehow, when I pulled my leather, I pulled my little button away from where I wanted it to be. Okay, that looks better. Let me see. Okay, there we are. We're at about the 7 inches. Let's make sure that we like that. And make sure you can pull it through. So you wiggle it through and it sits there. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm gonna go through and pull this tighter again. And I'm gonna show you on the finished example. So it's nice we have this to refer to. You see that knot, how it just sits over the little button area? So what we wanna do for this one too. There we go, we got that knot. And now I like having a little tail at the end of both the button and the loop. So you see they both have a little tail. It just, I don't know, I feel a little more secure about the knotting and the cord that way. So I'm just gonna tie another little knot and make this tail as long or as short as you like, but I have it about 1/2 inch. Okay, pull, 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 okay. And I'm gonna go and do that on this side too. And pull, 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 about the same size. And this knot still does slide. You can see we can still adjust that if we want to. If we're not sure if our button fits correctly, you can still adjust it. Okay, and now after you've got your knots pulled tight, you can use a scissor. I actually like using my flush cutters. I find it cuts the leather cord nice and cleanly. Just snip off the end. I'm gonna do that on both sides. Snip off the end. And that is our bracelet, just in its regular, unadorned self, which is actually pretty cute. It's kind of a cute little knotted leather bracelet with a little button closure, but I want to make it into something a little fancier, and that is going to be to add the beadwork around the edge. So here's our bracelet. Okay, this is what pattern we're going to be following, and I'm going to show you how to do that next. To add our beadwork edging, you're going to first make sure you're happy with your loop and your clasp. So you're just going to double check that that little loop is the right size for your button. Then you're going to have your beading thread on your needle. And like I said, I had 44 inches. Then you're going to take the end that doesn't have your needle and you're going to tie it directly onto your bracelet. You're going to want to leave about a 6-inch tail because at the very end you are going to re-thread your needle onto it. So I'm just doing a simple knot, and I'm coming to a rest not exactly right by my sliding knot, but fairly close. And now I'm going to do another knot and pull it down, and it's literally tied onto the bracelet. Now I'm going to pick up my bracelet, and I'm going to pick up 3 beads. I'm going to do my smallest bead, my 11-0, my 8-0, and my 11-0. So whatever colors you have chosen to do, just remember small, big, small. Pull that down, and you're going to make them sit on the edge. This is the only really tricky part is to begin with, is to get them to sit on the outside edge. You're going to pass your needle from the back through the bracelet loop, and then you're going to go up through the 3rd bead you strung. Okay, and pull, and it just made this little edge. So I'm going to show that to you again. So now we're going to do just one of the larger beads and one of the smaller beads, because you already have your first one right here already on that edge. Pull it down so that it's going to be sitting on the outer edge. So you want to keep it on the outside. I'm taking my needle, passing through my bracelet loop, positioning those up top, and going through that little bead again. Okay, and pull. So we're just starting to work our way around the edge. I'm going to just do that again. It's a big bead, little bead. Pull down. Okay, go from the back through to the front, through your bracelet loop. Go back up through that little bead and pull. And you can even kind of scoot them where you want them along the way. So this is what we've got so far. And we're going to do this all the way around the entire edge. And then I'll show you how to finish off your bracelet and tie in your threads. Let me show you that maybe just one more time. Big bead, little bead. Pull it down, go from the back through the center, and dun, 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 make sure they stay up top. Go through that little bead and pull, and you can just scoot them where they need to be on that outer edge. And then just keep working your way around. Now, I did like doing it with it in clasped bracelet form because I felt that my beads laid a little bit better in terms of how they're truly gonna sit and where you want them when you wear the bracelet itself versus pulling it out flat and doing it that way. I found the beads cooperated more and looked a little bit neater and tidier when you did it like that. So we finished all the beadwork. We have the entire surround done. And I'm right down to here. So I could have squeezed in another little segment of beads, but I chose not to. Now I'm going to show you how to tie this off. So I'm exiting my last bead just as if I was going to add another segment. I'm going to go back through the other 8-0, go down through my white bead on the edge, and pull it through. Loop through my bracelet loop. Okay, I'm going to come back and go up through that same white bead on the other side that I just exited. Here we go. Just get my needle through there. So I'm coming back up to the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot. So you have these little thread bridges here. And I'm going to go under this thread bridge, and I'm going to pull my thread through, make sure that this other tail is not caught. And I have a little loop now. I'm going to go through that loop with my needle and pull a knot. I'm going to go through that one more time. I'm going to go under that little thread bridge, make a little loop, go through it and pull a knot. And now I'm just going to go back through this other bead on the edge, and I'm going to go through this bottom bead. So I'm just retracing my steps. And by pulling it, you also pull the knot into the bead so it's a little bit hidden. And then I want to do that one more time. So I'm going to go through my bracelet loop. I'm going to go up through that white bead on this side. And now I'm going to go under that thread bridge, create a little loop, go through the loop with my needle, and do that one more time. So I've got a couple knots in place to really secure and anchor this in place, especially with a bracelet. Bracelets get a lot more wear than, say, earrings. And I'm going to go through that blue bead. And now I'm going to trim my thread. So I'm just going to trim my thread right where it exits. Ta-da! And now you'll just rethread your needle onto this other tail and repeat that same process for tying off your other side of the bracelet. And we are done. And we made a really pretty seed bead bracelet around leather cord with little button clasps. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please check out our other ones at beadaholique.com.